On today's episode, we're going to be going to the back of the fridge here. Just got to move some stuff out of the way. There it is. Now, best way to eat meat is obviously fresh, but if you need to preserve it, marinated ground beef here for some beef jerky. Have my setup here, carving knife, cutting board, beef to be used for the jerky, 2 metal wire racks. Now, you see that parchment paper? That is not going to go on top of it. That is simply under it to avoid spilling a bunch of juice everywhere on this counter. So once the meat is put on the wire, it'll be directly on there. Reason being, you want it to be able to dry out completely on all sides. If you were to put the parchment paper on the bottom, the paper is semi-porous, but it would not allow the beef to actually dry evenly on both sides. You end up with a curled beef jerky. We don't want that. We want nice, even jerky. So we'll be putting it directly on the wire rack. Okay. Now you can see the grain along here. Go in this direction. I'm going to turn it, cut against the grain for a more tender bite. I'm going to cut it about 1 centimeter thick, so about just under 1/2 inch. And this way, when it goes in the dryer, it doesn't over dry the meat. It's a little thicker than I thought. Hold on, let me rotate that. You can still see it. So this has been marinating for a little over a day and a half. You can see the marinade has penetrated pretty good into the meat. That's going to be great for flavor. Yeah, so you're going to want to cut it about this thick if you have a lean slice like this. If you have a taller, thicker piece of meat, of course you can go a little thinner. But I don't want this one to dry out too much when it goes in the rack, so I'm cutting slightly thicker than I normally would. So this is just about 1 centimeter. The marinade I used for this is basically just a Googled recipe. The ingredients look right, just comparing it with what I've had before for beef jerky. This is my first time doing this, by the way. Not an expert at this by any means. First time, and trying to figure out the best way to go about this in the future. So the only way to do that is by trying it out. So those look pretty even. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of the meat, and I'll be right back right after. Last few slices here just to finish it up. Ready to go. Carry this carefully across the kitchen now. Right into the dehydrator. Slide that in there. Left a little extra room on top, so I'm going to put the next batch on the top rack just so there's more space. And below it, I did a rack with just wax paper, or not wax paper, sorry, parchment paper. That's just to collect any drippings, because you can imagine things that drip down here would be extremely difficult to clean. So avoid that issue. Just put a parchment paper rack underneath, catch all the drippings. Here goes the second tray. Bring this one right over. Top rack. Give a little space for air. Don't want to have it too close, so we can get it nice and even. So the only thing in here is these 3 racks. Top jerky, bottom jerky, parchment paper. And turn it on. 70 degrees Celsius. Oh, 1 second. Alright, gotta turn down the hours. That's gonna be, close the door, 5 hours. We'll go 4.5. If it needs more, we'll keep adding time. So 4.5. Let me switch over here so you can see the temperature. Alright, looks like I have to go somewhere between 158 and 167. I'm going to go with the higher temperature just to be on the safe side. And we'll see how it comes out.